David, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. More importantly, how are you? It's the middle of the night, isn't it, in San Francisco area?
It is. It is the middle of the night. However, I have adjusted and I have put myself on European time as I was supposed to be there this week with you at the QE2 and many of our friends and colleagues. So that's not happening. So this is happening. I'm sitting in a room at 12:41 a.m. So, but we'll try and make it work. We'll try and make it work. And how about you? You're just outside of London, yeah?
I am, yeah. I'm about an hour outside London. We've had beautiful weather for the last 5, 6 weeks, but it's decided to rain today. So even more reason to be inside and hear for some great people analytics leaders on the great work that they're doing.
Yeah, well, it is amazing the people that have stepped up to join. And I got to say, as I start off here, a few things. Thank you to the speakers. We were going to do this in person. Obviously, many people had wanted to come back after what we had done last year, and felt very blessed that they were going to make the effort to do so. Obviously, about 8, 9 weeks ago, it was not appropriate to do the event. Therefore, we pulled it and very quickly decided to put everything online. So for them to be flexible, in many cases, move their schedules, it is quite remarkable. And I'm very thankful, and we'll be hearing from them over the next 3 days. So we're not going to do any concurrent sessions or anything like that. We're just going to go in one long stream. That's the reason, the 3 days. The other thing I wanted to say before I kick it back to you, David, is we have sponsors, we call funding partners, who help make this possible. And this is something, particularly at this time, given everything that's happening with the global health crisis, that the mission is not about sales. It's not about competing to find out who has the most cool tool. It's really about how we can help one another. And I, for one, am humbled, excited, blessed to be part of a community that has truly come together over the last few weeks. And so again, thank you for their sponsors who showed some creativity and support for us and our mission to make this event happen. So, with that, David, we did a brief promo video a couple weeks ago because this is a crazy time, for everybody, but particularly in people analytics. What do you see happening, not only in the space, but over the next 3 days, given who's on the agenda?
Well, maybe the first thing to say, Al, is a huge congratulations to you and the team for getting this organised in such a short space of time. I've watched on the sidelines seeing this come together, and it's truly amazing that for you and the team, and obviously everyone who's going to participate, as a speaker, as a partner, as an attendee over the next 3 days, it's incredible. And it just shows that the energy and collaboration that we have in our community. One thing I checked this morning, and I had to actually check and go onto Google. It's 89 days since we launched PAFOW in person in San Francisco. My God,
really?
A lot has happened since then. I think.
Oh my gosh!
At that point, there was stories of a new virus that was breaking out in Wuhan in China. And I did see a little bit of it when I landed at San Francisco Airport of that week, where everyone was wearing masks in the customs area. But I don't think any of us would have imagined then where we are now. So
no.
It's been incredible, and the community's really come together. And we're privileged at Insight 222 to hear and see and take part sometimes in some of the great work that people analytics teams are doing to help their companies, managers, leaders, and the workforce cope with this crisis. And I think we're going to hear some of those stories over the next 3 days.
Yeah, it is quite amazing. As you know, we went from San Francisco, which, again, I'm biased, but it was great to see everybody at what I thought was a fantastic event, and at a new venue that was bigger. And the feedback that we had heard afterwards was very heartening. And Dr. Jeffrey Pfeffer from Stanford presented a talk about well-being as being a leading construct for what we can and should be doing, not only in HR, but in people analytics specifically. And obviously, that was very appropriate given what's transpired since then. So, we're going to talk over the next few days about well-being, how people analytics leaders and teams have come to the fore to provide insight to organizational leaders on how to respond appropriately. So everything from employee listening to workforce planning, crisis management. So it is going to be a learning experience for all of us. It's not certainly press reset on a new thing. And one thing I'll say again before I kick it back is, we went from San Francisco, we went over to Sydney, and it was, again, something that we were making a commitment to insofar as we want to build a global community around this theme of people data for good, the responsible, ethical, and virtuous use of people data and analytics. So, as we have learned from people down under, have we learned from people there in Europe, I am hopeful, but I wouldn't be lying. It's 1:45 a.m. And this is not what we as human beings are accustomed to. So we're going to enter into a very honest conversation over the next few days. We're not going to sugarcoat it. And later today, Tomas Chamorro Premusic, who has a nasty habit of talking very authentically. Actually, is a beautiful habit. I kid. And many others. Who else? We're going to be facilitating back and forth during the course of the day. But David, again, who catches your mind based on the themes that we're going to be discussing over the next few days?
You're testing my powers of memory now that I can remember the agenda.
Oh, no. No. By the way, just so you know, 1 second, David, sorry. We are dealing with multiple screens in the first time. So if I look over here and over here, just know that this is how it's going to be. I'm on an upright chair with upright desk, so I'm going to stand up. We're going to be doing this for 3 days. So, David, you can do whatever you want. So if you need to toggle screens, do whatever. But yeah, you don't have to talk specifics right now, of course.
No, I can. I was just amused. I'm really looking forward to Tomas. Actually, we can really see, perhaps on the political stage more than ever, the difference in leadership styles. You've got Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, who's doing a fantastic job, empathy, and getting good results, and then you've got the other side of the coin based in your country, Al. And we don't want to get political, but let's just say we won't be advocating for the next 3 days that anyone should drink bleach to try and rid themselves of coronavirus. So I'm looking forward to that. And if we look today, we've got some fantastic speakers. At the end of the day, we've been, some of the people in San Francisco were privileged to see Stacia and Priyanka of Red Thread Research talk around the people analytics technology market. I think what they've done is a landmark piece of research, and I know from speaking to people that have seen this, the value that it's provided to people analytics teams and anyone that's interested in this space, and the partners themselves. I think. We've got David Schontz, obviously, later on this morning from Nokia. Anyone that's seen any of the Visia crisis management open forums that they've organised, David's done an amazing job of pulling together external data and internal data to provide live and in-the-minute updates to executives in Nokia of how the COVID-19 is impacting on their workforce, and then using those insights to drive employee wellness, employee care, which ultimately this is what it's all about. I'm not going to say anything about Thomas and Sally because I'll be introducing them in a few minutes, but suffice to say, it's always great to hear from Thomas and Sally on the work that they're doing at National Australia Bank as well. Yeah,
it's again, I pinch myself with who stepped up, and Thomas and Sally will be joining us from the Melbourne area in Australia. We're going to have multiple speakers from Australia here in the US, as well as there in Europe. So it is truly a global event, and we are going to do something around midsummer that tentatively is titled PAFOW Global Online, which would be a Live Aid type event that would go around the world. So more to come on that later. For now, I want to say a couple things about the experience over the next few days. Number one, this was going to be PAFOW London. We're obviously not in London. We're focusing on the European time zones and the European community. That being said, I am an American, if you don't know, Californian. And I want to be very sensitive to a few things. Number one, there's many languages in Europe, David. I was unaware of that. And I'm kidding. Of course, it's a great, diverse place. I had the pleasure of living and working in Europe for close to 6 years. I miss it. It's fantastic. And I feel very blessed that I have been able over the years to come there and visit and work. So given this, we are presenting in English. However, we do plan on doing regional events in your home language in the future. So more on that on the PAFOW community app. If you want to learn about the agenda specifics, go to PAFOW.net. There you'll be directed to the conference hub. There you'll see the live stream as well as the Slido, and that will kick you over to what we call the PAFOW community app. There are chapters for the sponsors. You'll see the speakers, and if you join the PAFOW Europe online chapter, there's a small fee for that. You will have access to the recordings of all the sessions that you'll experience over the next few days, as well as the slides, assume they were authorized for distribution. So we're trying to do something new. I'm going to say up front, it's going to be imperfect, but we're going to do our best. I briefly mentioned Slido, so we are going to have ongoing discussions as we go over the next few days. So be sure when you come in, if you want to ask a question or vote on a question getting asked, do so. The code, as you see before you, can be scanned. Or you can type in PAFOW Europe Online into Slido.com and it'll come up. And when you do, use the code 20EUR. So again, that is good. One other thing before I, again, let you back in here, the conversation, David, and then we'll start segueing in to get Thomas and Sally kicked off, is that we are live streaming on YouTube. So this morning I shared a video on LinkedIn where you can go to YouTube and put it on your TV, for example. You have a smart TV, and it'll take up your whole screen, and you can use Slido on your phone and ask questions, follow along. It's probably the easiest way. You can go to the conference hub if you're in a browser. You can follow and watch on our LinkedIn company page at PAFOW, as well as there's one other area. Oh, the app itself. We're live streaming on the app itself. So 4 different places you can view this. So again, we're trying something new. We look forward to how your experience was over these 4 days. In the meantime, we're just going to do our best. So David, back to you.
Yeah, and I've just checked the Slido thing. So you just go into slido.com, type in the event code 20EUR, EUR, and it works. And even I could do it. So, and those of you who know me will know that I'm not the most technically proficient of people. So yeah, nice and simple. We'll be looking forward to seeing questions and obviously the opportunity to upvote questions as well. So yeah, really exciting stuff. And yeah, you'll have to bear with me and Al in particular. It's very different doing these sorts of things when you're staring at a screen rather than actually in person.
This is not Zoom. And by the way, actually, David, I was almost remiss because I thanked everybody. And that just reminded me, this doesn't happen without Slides Live. Slides Live is our partner. They are behind the scenes. They're driving all this. They are based in Prague and New York. They have been an outstanding partner over the last 2 years. So I just want to make it very clear, if we did not have a relationship with them, this would not be happening. So you can go to slideslive.com. They did not ask me to do that. They're probably embarrassed, and I'll probably get some heat for that afterwards. But it's worth saying that every time we've done an event, I am a little shaky about everything. I'm totally confident about everything except whether or not the live stream is going to work, and time and again it does, and they've been great. So just want to give them a shout out, and we'll do more gratitudes as we go. So David, we are 5 minutes out, probably 4.5 minutes out from Thomas and Sally. Any comments that you want to share? I got one more thing, but anything else that you want to share before we do kick you over to the introducing them?
Well, let's not forget why we're here. And I saw that from the Johns Hopkins database that we passed the 3 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 around the world yesterday. And that's a pretty significant milestone. And we know that there's far more than 3 million people that have actually had this awful disease. And over 200,000 people, according to the official data, have sadly died from this. So I think we do, and Al and I appreciate that there are people probably tuning in who have been impacted by this, either personally by having the disease, or family or friends who may be in high risk categories. It's a worrying time, and we're sensitive to that, and your thought, we're thinking of you around that as well. We're also conscious that it's created an economic crisis. And a number of people have either lost their jobs or been furloughed, including in our own community. And again, to any of you watching, our thoughts are with you as well.
Yeah, thank you, David. That's extremely well said. And it's also the case where, I have a very good friend from college, and he is a coach at Google and the Haas School of Business. And he has been checking in on me, and I've been checking on him. And we talked recently, and you're going to see this on a slide tomorrow and potentially today. It's really around, how are you taking care of yourself? So many people are sharing, hope you're doing well, which is, a very nice sentiment. But I would hope we all are taking steps to take care of ourselves right now. I get asked, hey, how you doing? It's like, the casual, I'm all right. Reality is we are all doing something we've never done before, and it's uncomfortable, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. And I am reminded, and I'm going to forget the author right now, shame on me. I got books behind me. It might be back there. But there's a lot of people who feel victimized right now, and arguably we are. But in this piece of work, The Power of TED, the empowerment dynamic, the opposite of a victim is a creator. So, someone who is resourceful, who finds a way forward. And I hope, particularly in our discipline of people analytics, that we are doing that we are creative, that we are hopeful, that we are finding an appropriate way forward. And what we're going to experience over the next few days will help towards that end. I mean, no one's coming to us with the answers. Our experiences are as diverse as the people, not only in country by country, but, around the world, because it is, to your point, highlighted economic disparity around the world, particularly here in the States. It's really a difficult thing to see, and what we thought was a very, I'm not going to go finish that sentence, kind of just get me in trouble. But in the end, we're here to provide some hope, some ideas. Hopefully we'll have a bit of entertainment as we go too, but let's have some fun with it. So with that, I'll kick it over to you, David. I'm going to disappear and let you talk with Thomas and Sally.
Al, make sure you get some coffee.
I will, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Have fun.